me start sharing. Okay. So, good morning, one and all. Good afternoon. Today we are going to discuss the principle of planning. Today we are going to discuss the principle of planning. Okay. Building and town planning. Principle of planning we are going to discuss over here. So, what do we mean by planning of a building? So, in nutshell, we can say that it is grouping and arrangement of components of the building in systematic manner so as to form a homogeneous body with a comprehensive look out to meet its functional purpose. So, this is what is something called definition of the planning of the building. Now, if we discuss the definition, what we can found is it is a grouping and arrangement of the components of the building in a systematic manner. So we have to group out the different elements of the building. Let's say bathroom, toilet, then kitchen, dining room, then drawing room, living room, a veranda, puja room, guest room, study room, etc. So that all things are to be arranged in a space in such a way that to have a homogeneous body with a comprehensive look out to meet its functional purpose. So functional purpose means all the units are designed to have its functional requirement, and that requirement has to be fulfilled. Now planning of building depends on functional object and requirements. This is what we already seen in this. Component, parts, size and interrelationships, topography and shape of plot, climatic condition, location and neighborhood. So let us discuss one by one. Functional object and requirement. So what is the requirement of an owner, right, for what the building has to be planned? Either it is residential building or public building, or what we can say industrial building or institutional building. And requirement, up to which extent you want the facility. Is it designed for a small house or twin bungalow or an apartment, or let's say bungalow itself? That depends. How many rooms you want, how many master bedrooms you want, what is your requirement, do you want the puja room or not? Component, parts, size and then interrelationship. So sizes, so what is your wish to have a different sizes of the different elements of your rooms, what size you are expecting for your bedroom, drawing room, kitchen and so on. Topography and shape of the plot. So this is also one of the factors which depends. If you have round or odd shape, then you have to change the planning. If you are having flat topography, your planning will be different. If you are having the sloping topography, your planning will be different. Climatic conditions, location and neighborhood. So in a humid area, what you can say, the things may be different, and in what you can say rainy area, let's say if you are planning in Meghalaya, then your planning will be different. location and neighborhood. One more thing is, here we can say building bylaws and etc. So you have to focus on the building bylaws also. Fine. So these all are the factors which are affecting the planning of the building. The most of our buildings are constructed as a dwellings, and principle of that outset are guiding the principle of such buildings. Certain deviations from these principles are necessary, and inadequacies in them are to met with by individuals. So ultimately, it's nothing but the individual wish, right? So let us start up with the principle of planning. So we are having these many fundamental principles of the planning. Here you can see aspect, prospect, privacy, furniture requirement, roominess, grouping, circulation, sanitation, flexibility, elegance, economy. So before that, we need to see that what is the orientation of the building. So let us see, here aspect is discussed. Now aspect, let us try to understand what is aspect. Placement of different rooms of house in accordance with our activities at different hours of day is called as aspect. It's called as aspect. Placement of room of house in accordance with our activities at different hours of a day is called as aspect. Now the room should get enough sunlight and air, which gives cheerful atmosphere, comfort and hygienic conditions. So here one can conclude that the building should be so oriented that the occupants may get the advantage of natural breeze, sunshine and scenery. A room which receives light and air from a particular direction is said to have aspect of that direction. So here the major focus is sunshine, sunlight and air. Depending upon the orientation of the room, we can say that a room is having which kind of aspect with it. So here this is the aspect pattern which is discussed. See, as per our Indian system, we are having what you can say wind direction from southwest, which is in Gujarati called as Nairutya. So according to that, the preferable location of the bedroom is either in southwest direction or in west direction or in northwest direction, so that to receive a plentiful of breeze in summer. So in summer, in the night, we can have better, what you can say, breeze of air. And that is how it is to be recommended to have in southwest, west or in northwest direction. Kitchen should be in east and rarely northeast. To receive morning sun, which is germicidal, it purifies air. It should be well illuminated and cool in afternoon. So in the east direction in the morning there is sunlight, and will have a healthy situation, healthy environment in kitchen itself, which is located in east direction. So this is what, as a being good planner, we have to keep in our mind. Dining area, yes, it is just nearby the kitchen itself. So sometimes the suggested sites are southeast, south, southwest, proximity of kitchen, and it should be cool. Drawing room has to be kept in south, east, south, west to adequate natural light during the winter. Right? Reading room is to be placed in north or northwest direction. Store has to be kept in northwest, north or northeast direction to fulfill the dark and cool area for the storage of the goods. So here what we can say that this all was about the aspect. Now prospect. Second principle of the planning is prospect. So here prospect is nothing but the desired view from the windows and doors located in the outer wall. Right, that is what is prospect. It is determined by view as desired from certain rooms of house, view of the garden or nearby hill. The example, sometimes you may have prospect like riverside view or garden side view or hillside view or something like that. So from the room on the outer side, how the things are visible to us, and that is what is called as nothing but the prospect. At the same time, it is naturally intended to conceal some undesirable views. So that is also to be kept while making the planning. Right. So planner sometimes design the different types of projecting windows to get better prospect from the desired direction. So projecting windows are sometimes used to give proper views. So that is what is about the prospect. Let us move further. That is privacy. Privacy can be off. Here broadly if we say, we can say we are having two types of privacy, that is internal privacy and external privacy. So it can be achieved. Here three things are basically focused, that is privacy through sight, privacy through sound, and both sight and sound can be achieved by these three parameters. Now as we say sight, then the units are bathroom and WC. So your orientation of the bathroom and WC in the building must not be directly exposed in the drawing room. The person who is using bathroom or WC must not be directly visible to the people or person who is sitting in the drawing room. Sound. Create confidential discussion. Study room. So these are the places which should be totally soundproof. There must not be any disturbance from the outside. And bedroom must have assured both the things, sight and sound. Right? So let us discuss what is internal privacy, what is external privacy, and how can it be achieved. Now let us focus on the internal privacy. It is privacy within the building. It can be achieved by correct positioning of the doors and openings of shutters, proper grouping of rooms, providing buffer area between bedroom and other rooms, vertical segments of rooms vertical segments of room by providing dining, kitchen, toilet at ground floor and bed and toilet at first floor. So let us discuss these all one by one. Correct positioning of doors and opening of shutters. So opening of shutters and doors should be placed properly just to achieve the internal privacy. That everything in the room must not be visible to the person who is just passing through a door or window. One more thing is proper grouping of rooms. So there should be a limited access to the people, outsiders, whomsoever is in the building, and that is how we can achieve the internal privacy. Providing buffer area between bedroom and other rooms. So we should have to have the passages so that there is no direct connection between any two rooms. Vertical segregation of rooms by providing drawing, the dining, kitchen, etc. So the privacy from external sites can be secured by providing planned entrance and pathways. This can be achieved by screening the front and rear entrance. Planting trees and creeps helps a lot in screening the entrances. Now external privacy. It is privacy within the building. It can be achieved by correct positioning of the doors and openings and shutters. So this already we have been discussed. Here, and as we said, external privacy, it must be reference to surroundings, that is surrounding buildings and surrounding roads. It can be achieved by raising the compound wall's height by 1.35 meter to 1.5 meter, so that there will be direct visual cut. Planting trees along compound wall acts as sound and sight barrier. Providing screen walls, curtain walls and bark walls on the veranda. Next one is the furniture requirement. Now, what do we mean by furniture requirement? What do we mean by furniture requirement? That planner should know how much space is needed by each function. Room sizes can be completed on the basis of permanent furniture to be used, its dimension and arrangement, clearance of for circulation. So here you can see, let's say if we are having a room of size 10 feet by 10 feet as a bedroom, then if we are just providing a permanent bed of 5 feet by 6 feet, so out of 100 square feet, 30 square feet has been already left. Only 60 square feet area is remaining. Out of that, we have to provide the area for the wardrobe permanent. So that is 2 feet by 10 feet or 1 feet by 10 feet. And if we do so, then there will be very less space which is available for us with the bedroom. So at least after putting all the furniture, an occupant must have a proper place to move within the unit, either drawing room, bedroom, whatever. Fine. So roominess. What is roominess? It is feeling created after a room is well furnished with all permanent furniture as spacious and well planned. So what is that? After putting all the furniture in the all rooms, whatever the space which has to be occupied by all the furniture elements and all, even after that, the person who is staying in the room or building must feel that the building is totally spacious and well planned. And that can be achieved by maximum use of a room with minimum possible dimension. That means, as a being planner, we are supposed to be very conscious enough to use a single inch of space of the building. Single inch of space of the building. Rectangular room gives better outlook compared to square room of the same floor area. Let's say if you are supposed to provide 100 square foot area for your room, then if you are providing the size of 10 feet by 10 feet, instead of that you may change the length to width ratio from 1.2 to 1.5 and you can make it rectangle. While we are arranging rectangle units, it always gives better outlook, and that is how I feel you must have observed that in the most of buildings, residential buildings, a nominal normal sizes of the rooms are more rectangular than square. This is the guideline that length to base ratio has to be kept 1.2 to 1.5 meter. But when it exceeds 2, means length is double than width, then it creates tunnel like feeling. Fine. And what happens? It looks like a bogie of a train. So it's not advisable to have length to width ratio more than 2. Similarly, height also plays important role. Depending upon the lateral dimensions of your units of your all rooms, the height should also proportionate. It must not like that if you are having the size of 10 feet by 10 feet and if you are providing the story height as 15 feet, which has no meaning. The height should be also proportionate. If your room dimensions are big and if you are providing big height, that is fine, no issue. But that only the concern is everything should be in proportionate format. The same thing has been written over here. The room should have all proportional dimensions. Light color creates more effect as spacious. So color also matters a lot. Instead of dark color inside the room, we should prefer to provide light colors because it gives spacious effect to the occupants. Light and dark color for the different walls of the same room will reduce the effect of less width and more length. So this is what right now people have adopted. that previously we had a single color fashion, that whole building, all the rooms will have the same color. But nowadays we have been adopted this new thing, that we are having different colors of walls in a single room. So it creates some effect. Next principle of planning is grouping. What is grouping? It is the arrangement of the different rooms with reference to their function. With reference to their function. It improves comfort, privacy, and convenience, and minimizes the circulation. Minimizes the circulation. So grouping is also one of the important integral parameters what we have to keep in our mind as a being the graduates of civil engineering. Right? So, what are the points to be considered? What are the points to be considered here? Veranda adjacent to the drawing room. We have to provide veranda just nearby the drawing room. Have we ever seen that veranda is inside the building? No. In the front of the building, the veranda will come, and just immediate to that, drawing room will come. This is but obvious. Second point, if you see, dining room must be near to the kitchen. The unit of bedroom, toilet and dressing room can be grouped together. Bathroom and water closet should be nearer to each other. This is what we know. Staircase should be easily accessible from all the rooms. So this is also one has to be keep in the mind. Most of the time it must be in the center of the building on one of the wall, so that it can be easily accessed from all the units, from either kitchen or bedroom or drawing room. This is also one thing what we have to keep in our mind as a being good planner, that WC should be kept away from dining. Why? Because psychological feeling of being away from insanitary place. So it always creates psychological effect. So it must not be just nearby either kitchen or near dining room. Right? Next principle of planning is circulation. It is access into or out from room. It is internal movement inside a building. That is what is called as circulation. A circulation area should be straight, short, bright, lightened both day and night, well ventilated and free from obstructions. So it should not affect privacy nor interfere with utility. And if we see here, and then when if we say circulation, we are having two types of circulation. One is horizontal circulation and one is vertical circulation. If we say horizontal circulation, then it is within the same floor in horizontal direction, and vertical circulation says that it is between different floors in vertical direction. So here this circulation can be achieved, horizontal circulations can be achieved by providing the passages, and vertical circulation can be achieved by proper arrangement of the staircase. While planning the different areas, the possible arrangement of the furniture is always kept in mind for better circulation. The doors are planned in such a way that circulation is not adversely affected, and the doors and the furniture is when the doors are accommodated. When the doors are open, it must not obstruct the circulation. For vertical circulation, stairs, as I just told, have to be planned to have sufficient headroom. Now, what do we mean by headroom? So, while we are just stepping the slab, at that time our head should not get stuck to the slab, and that is what is the minimum distance what we need in a flight, so as not to stuck with the slab of the first floor. Is called as headroom. And use of winder is to be avoided as far as possible. Winders means the winders in the staircase. So they are to be avoided. One more thing is advisable for the stairs, and that is our flight of stairs may not contain 10 to 12 steps with appropriate dimensions of stairs and risers. So in a single flight complete, if you want to achieve the total height, you need to have the 2 flights minimum. There must not be a single flight, otherwise it becomes very tiresome for someone who is old in the house to reach to first floor. So you need to have two flights. One more thing you have to keep in your mind, that while planning for the staircase, you are supposed to provide the ventilation. Either you have to provide the window or something like that. Right? Sanitation. Next is the sanitation. Now, what includes? Light, ventilation, and cleanliness. The basic 3 things influencing the sanitation. It is provisions and upkeep of various components of the house to keep inmates cheerful and free from diseases. To assure the lighting, natural sunlight or artificial, intensity of natural light is affected by the pollutants like smoke, dirt, dust, gases and clouds. Minimum window area, for that we should keep in our mind as 1/7 of the floor area for the hot humid climate. Minimum window area is to be kept 1/10 of the floor area for the dry climate. This is a thumb rule what we have to keep in our mind, just to maintain a proper lighting in the room. How we can assure the ventilation? A system of supplying or removing air by natural or mechanical means to or from any enclosed space to create and maintain comfortable conditions is called as ventilation. So orientation matters a lot. Orientation of the building and location of the windows helps in providing proper ventilation. Now, what is the basic requirements in ventilation? So, due to ventilation, we may have the sensation of the comfort. Due to ventilation, there is reduction in the humidity. There is removal of the heat. There is proper supply of oxygen in the unit, in the home, in the house, due to ventilation. And due to ventilation, there is always reduction of the dust. right? Now we are having two types of ventilation. There are two types of ventilation. What is that? One is natural and one is artificial. Natural ventilation is suitable for houses and flats. That can be achieved by designing windows and ventilators opposite to each other. Artificial ventilation is necessary if room is to be occupied by more than 50 persons or where space per occupant is less than 3 meters cube. It is achieved by exhaust system of supply system, or it should be or over here. Okay, so where the number of occupants are so much, in that case we are supposed to supply the artificial ventilation system, and that is nothing but by providing exhaust. Okay, there are two methods of ventilation, natural. Yeah, next is the last one is the cleanliness. Now how can we maintain the cleanliness? For that we have dust. So due to dust it always attract the bacteria. Dust creates the health problems and dust makes surfaces dull. So to avoid the dust, the floors shall be smooth, impervious, non-absorbing, uniformly sloping, so as to assure that there will be a minimum dust in the room. Dampness is the root cause of infection. Wall and floor shall be damp proof. Kitchen, bathroom, WC shall be drained off weekly, just to avoid the dampness over there. One more principle of the planning is the flexibility. Now what do we mean by flexibility? A room which is planned for one function can be used for other if so required. It's called as flexibility. It is ease with which a room designated for a particular activity can accommodate more load temporarily or may supplement actively of other rooms. This as drawing room can be used as a guest room, bedroom, kitchen as additional dining room, etc. This lecture is being uploaded on the YouTube channel, my channel, Nayan Soni. You can search, and if you like the video, you like it, subscribe my channel so that in coming days whatever the lectures I will be taking will be uploaded, and you can access that at any time via YouTube. If you like, you can share also this video. Elegance. Let us move further. Elegance. The grand appearance of a building, mainly owing to a elevation which in turn depends on plan. In nutshell, elegance means if we stand outside and what it looks like, elevation, that is what is called as elegance. So elegance depends on elevated side, it depends upon the architectural views which is given to the building, it depends upon the neighborhood, depends upon the conformity with nature, some hilly area is there or some lake is there, and some river side is there or garden side is there, nativity, adjoining building and relative placement. A better elegance can be obtained by superior building materials for facing like paint, glass, timber, polished stone, granite, marble, mosaic, etc. So how you give your input so as to assure your outer look of the building, that decides the better elegance. Some more actions are, you can provide the projections like sunshades, balconies, porch, etc. Providing bay windows, corner windows, etc. may add on in the better elegance. Right? Economic. Building should have minimum floor area with maximum utility. Minimum floor area with maximum utility. It should not achieved at the cost of strength. Only with proper planning, and utility of space being maximized. So here only the thing what we can minimize, that is nothing but the passages, because the units are fixed. You cannot play with the dimensions of the rooms. The minimum area what is required only, that we have to provide, irrespective of any unit. Either if we are planning for drawing room, bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, WC, whatever. Only the thing what we can minimize is passages while making the plan. Here some other ways are also given. It can be achieved by simple elevation, dispensing of porches, balconies, lobbies. Here we can reduce the story height so as to save some money, because we are reducing 2-3 layers of the brickwork, so it may reduce the cost. Reducing number of steps. This is not advisable practically, because by reducing the number of steps we are ultimately making compromise with the normal sizes of the rise and trade of the steps, and it is not advisable. But yeah, still if it is something which touches the economy, then one can go for that. It's free wish of an owner to go for it. Next one is the standardization of the sizes of the various components and materials. So from beginning itself we should be very clear in our mind that what are the things what we are going to utilize the same, right, just to achieve the economy. So in nutshell, today we have discussed the principles of building planning. So as a being students of civil engineering, you should be very clear in your mind that how different units of the building should be placed, should be grouped in such a way that it meets the all functionality of all the units and the people who are staying in the building. It should be well oriented, it should be well aspected, it should be have well prospect, rooms should be in proper fashion, right? So while you are start planning on a drawing sheet for any building, these are the concepts what you have to keep in your mind. So friends, today I am concluding this session over here. Once again I am repeating, this lecture is recorded and live now, it is live on the Facebook. It will be saved and uploaded on my YouTube channel. You may search it, Nayan Soni. And if you like this video, please press like button, subscribe it, and do share whomsoever is your friends who want to get understood the concept of building planning. Please share it, and feel free to contact me anytime if you wish. I am very free and I will be available for all the students. With this, I am stopping my session over here. Thank you very much.